Well, good morning, Pilgrim. I got a chapter of the Bible to read here today about one of the greatest men who ever lived in the history of the world. A man with feet of clay, just like all of us. 2 Samuel, chapter 11, beginning at verse 1. In the spring of the year, the time when kings go out to battle, David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel. And they ravaged the Ammonites. They besieged Rabbah, but David remained at Jerusalem. It happened late one afternoon when David arose from his couch and was walking on the roof of the king's house that he saw from the roof a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful. David sent and inquired about the woman, and one said, "Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" So David sent messengers and took her, and she came to him, and he lay with her. Now she had been purifying herself from her uncleanness. Then she returned to her house, and the woman conceived, and she sent and told David, "I am pregnant." So he sent word to Joab, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah the Hittite. When Uriah came to him, David asked how Joab was doing, and how the people were doing, and how the war was going. Then David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." And Uriah went out of the king's house, and there followed him a present from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and he didn't go down to his house. When they told David, Uriah did not go down to his house, David said to Uriah, "Have you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house?" Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah dwell in the booths, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are camping in the open field. Shall I then go to my house to eat and drink and to lie with my wife? As you live and as your soul lives, I will not do this." Then David said to Uriah, "Remain here today also, and tomorrow I'll send you back." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. And David invited him, and he ate in his presence and drank, so that he made him drunk. And in the evening he went out to lie on his couch with the servants of his lord. But he did not go down to his house. In the morning David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. In the letter he wrote, "Set Uriah in the forefront of the hardest fighting, and then draw back from him, that he may be struck down and die." And as Joab was besieging the city, he assigned Uriah to the place where he knew there were valiant men. And the men of the city came out and fought with Joab, and some of the servants of David among the people fell. Uriah the Hittite also died. Then Joab sent and told David all the news about the fighting. And he instructed the messenger, "When you have finished telling all the news about the fighting to the king, then if the king's anger arises, and if he says to you, 'Why did you go so near the city to fight? Did you not know that they should shoot from the wall? Who killed Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal? Did not a woman cast an upper millstone on him from the wall, so that he died at Thebez? Why did you go so near the wall? Then you shall say, Your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also.'" So the messenger went and came and told David all that Joab had sent him to tell. The messenger said to David, "The men gained an advantage over us and came out against us in the field, but we drove them back to the entrance of the gate. Then the archers shot at your servants from the wall. Some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also." David said to the messenger, "Thus shall you say to Joab, 'Don't let this matter displease you, for the sword devours now one and now another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it, and encourage him.'" When the wife of Uriah heard that her husband was dead, she lamented over her husband. when the morning was over, David sent and brought her to his house. She became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. There's more to this tale of what happened to David, but we're going to leave that. June 7th, 1857. A sermon entitled Presumptuous Sin, delivered by Charles Spurgeon. He read from Psalm 19:13. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. This prayer was a prayer of a saint, the prayer of a holy man of God. Did David need to pray thus? Did the man after God's own heart need to cry, keep back thy servant? Yes, indeed he did. And note the beauty of the prayer. If I might translate it into more metaphorical style, it is like this. Curb thy servant from presumptuous sins. Keep him back, or he will wander to the edge of the precipice of sin. Hold him in, Lord. He is apt to run away. Curb him. Put the bridle on him. Don't let him do it. Let thine overpowering grace keep him holy when he would do evil. Then do thou draw him to good, and when his evil propensities would lead him astray, then do thou check him. Keep back thy servant from presumptuous sins. What then? Is it true that the best of men may sin presumptuously? Yeah, it's true. It's a solemn thing to find the Apostle Paul warning saints against the most loathsome of sins. He says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, idolatry, inordinate affection, and such like. What? Do saints want warning against such sins as these? Yes! Yes, they do. Yes, we do. Yes, I do. The highest saints may sin the lowest sins, unless kept by divine grace. You old experienced Christians boast not in your experience. You may yet trip up unless you cry, hold thou me up, and I shall be safe. You whose love is fervent, whose faith is constant, whose hopes are bright, say not, I shall never sin, but rather cry out, Lord, lead me not in temptation, and when there, lead me not there. For unless thou hold me fast, I feel I shall decline and prove an apostate after all. And I got some other verses here. Luke 22:40. And when he came to the place, he said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. Psalm 17:5. My steps have held fast to your paths, my feet have not slipped. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Hebrews 3:13. But exhort one another every day, as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Psalm 119:11. Psalm 119. One of my favorite songs, the longest one in the Bible. I have stored up your word in my heart, that I may not sin against you. The word of God. Well, God bless, Pilgrim. Think on these things. Take them to heart. Have a blessed, blessed, blessed day.